look at this. I'm just gonna turn right now. Look at how many to let signs there are on these roads. I'm not gonna lie. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Warren. I am a banker in London and property investor across the UK. My goal is to live independently, to live free from property. So I'm looking for an income of £3,000 per month from property in the next 5 years. If that's what you're on to, if you want to live free and independently, subscribe and like. That is what my content is all about. We are going on another viewing, guys. I'm making these into a kind of series of videos and uploading them, guys. I've been active going up and down the UK, up and down the motorway, visiting, doing viewings on properties and taking you with me because I want you to see what my process is. I want you to see the types of houses that I'm seeing. These are auction properties that I'm looking to do the BRRR strategy on. So let's get straight into it and not waste any more time. So I've actually just arrived in Derby. I'm on the street now. The property is literally just there. I'm going to drive around in a bit so you can have a look at what the area is like. I'm going to come out after the viewing and give you guys a breakdown of what it's like in there. I'll film it as well, actually, so you'll see the film of the viewing, and I'll give you a breakdown of you know, the questions I ask and what I'll do next. Really residential area. I'm looking around. There's a lot of to let signs about. Again, when I'm driving around again, I'll switch the camera around and I'll show you, but it seems like there is a lot of demand for rentals around there because there's so many to let signs. So I'm gonna have more of a look. I've literally just got off of the motorway here, so I'm going to do a little bit of snooping around, which is what I like to do when I arrive in an area, and I'll take you guys with me. So guys, I'm just driving around the area, down the around the roads, and as you can see, there are a lot. Look at this. I'm just gonna turn right now. Look at how many to let signs there are on these roads. I'm not gonna lie, when I was coming to the house, I was like, why are there so many to let signs? Obviously it's a good indication that there's high rental demand. Okay guys, so this window is in a bit of a state of disrepair. I think it's a single glaze, so that's going to need replacing. You can see the window frame needs a bit of fixing, but outside the property looks in good condition. This is the living room. So as you can see, it's very dated. I mean, that is some old school wallpaper and carpets. Architraves on the doors are in decent condition. Could probably just paint those. Again, really, it looks like, I think this is probably a house that either nobody's lived in for a while, or maybe an older person, and they've been unable to upkeep it as they've gone along, because you can see all of the finishes are pretty old school. So this is going to need a rip out. Well, I'll take the wallpaper off for sure, maybe replaster, but definitely repaint. Kitchen, very old. I'll take everything. I'll take the wallpaper off, the tiles off. New units for sure. I mean, these are really old units. Look at that. Look at the mold. Is that mold or dust inside of there? Underneath the units, seeing what's in the cupboards. You never know what's inside of a cupboard. So hopefully nothing jumped out at me, so thankfully. Okay, then taking a look outside at the garden. Garden looks really nice. Good size for a 2-bed. It's actually in good condition considering the inside of the property. Now I'm going up these stairs to try and get a good look at the back of the house, and when I look at the back of the house, I'm going to turn around in a sec. I'm looking at whether there's any cracks in the brickwork, trying to get a view of the roof. The roof is in good condition. And the tiling on the floor, so the brickwork on the floor is in good condition as well. So really just a clean out of that. Having a look in this shed, storage there. I think that's next door shed. Double glazing windows on the outside, by the way. I like that door as well. Good modern door to the back garden. I'd replace that radiator with a new one. I like to look in the corners, check for damp, mold. Looks fine. The electrics are working, so that's good. And then upstairs again, I'd replace this carpet. Carpets throughout need replacing, they're ancient. Again, you know, this room isn't in bad condition at all. I mean, the wallpaper's old, it's a bit musty, so you can't smell it through the TV screen, but yeah, I'd replace everything, replace those curtains, blinds. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video, if you find it useful, share it with a friend, guys, and subscribe and hit the like button. And now back to the video. I think this was a single pane window, so I'd replace this window with a double glazed one. And then into the next bedroom. Today's video is brought to you by Invest Engine. Guys, I love property. That is my main focus, what I like to do, but I don't just focus on property. I like to diversify my investments outside of that to spread my risk. And I also invest in the stock market. The property and the stock market are 2 out of the 4 biggest sources of wealth in the UK. An app that I personally use to invest in the stock market in index funds is called Invest Engine. Reason why I love Invest Engine is because you can create an account and start investing in a few minutes from your phone. There's no fees involved, and your money is protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme up to £85,000. This app makes it simple and accessible to invest in the stock market, especially if you're a novice. I personally have a direct debit each month and it goes straight into a global index fund every month. I don't even have to think about it. It's all automated and it does it for me. And guys, if you sign up and invest at least £100 with Invest Engine, you get a £25 bonus if you go through the link in the description below. So guys, sign up today and diversify your investments. And now back to the video. Again, similar to the last one, you can actually see through to the floorboards there, but the floors felt even as well, by the way. I like to jump up and down. Another double glazed window, so that's good, keep that. Storage. And then these terraced houses up north are kind of unique, that they have the bathroom upstairs off the bedroom. Which seems to be the way they were built. New shower unit, or whole new units, whole new kitchen, sorry, whole new bathroom for this room. Double glazed window, that's good. And taking a look at the boiler now, that is an old school boiler. I don't know if that would need replacing, but it looks pretty old. It's not a modern one. So I'd have words with tradesmen on whether that needs replacing, and they can be quite expensive. So that's something to factor in to this particular house. Lights are not working, so might see if it's just a case of the bulb's not in, or whether you need a rewire. Doesn't seem like I'll need a rewire on this one. Again, double glazed window on the back window, so that's good. Keep that for sure. And then quickly checking the taps. Sorry, and then the window, and checking the taps for. Sorry, it's upside down for some reason, but the taps for the sink. You can see that there's a leak there, so piping would need replacing. So guys, as you can see from the video, there is a lot to do in this house. I don't think anything substantial, i.e. structural. I didn't see any signs of damp. I didn't see any signs of dilapidation, cracks in the walls and that kind of stuff, but it does need a full refurb. I'm talking every single room. I'm talking a change of carpets, painting and decorating, units, new units, plastering, even new plumbing in the kitchen, as you can see. The garden needs work. This is going to be a full refurb, and with this being my first BRRR project, I'm not sure that I want to do a full refurb for my very first one. I want one that's a bit more moderate. But guys, it's just really good experience going out to viewings. Even if you're not necessarily in a position to buy a property right now, it's still really good to just go out to as many viewings as possible and get a feel for how to assess a property, how to spot issues, how to build up an estimate of what needs to be done and how much it's going to cost and how that's going to affect the offer that you put in. So really good experience, and it's worthwhile comparing this viewing to my last one in Stoke. you know, have a look at that one and you'll really be able to spot the difference in the conditions of the property and the difference in the amount of work that needs to be done with one versus the other. I just had a quick chat with the agent who was showing me around the property just now, and this is a student area, so that explains it, because we're in September as well, so we're coming up to a time of the term where there's high turnover, and that's why there are so many to let signs. So what I've got to be thinking about is, if I was to bid on this property, first of all, who's going to live there? Because generally speaking, student areas tend to be saturated with students. And right on cue, you got a student to let sign there on the left, as opposed to students and normal resi tenants. But I'm going to talk to more agents, because I went to, for example, when I went to uni in Manchester, where I was living in the area of Manchester, it was all students. There was barely any just normal regular people living there. So I'm going to talk to more agents and say, hey, okay, just confirm my assumption basically. Is this an area where we're really looking at student tenants? If so, that's going to have implications on the amount of rent that you can get, the times of the year that it's going to be tenanted, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's something that I've got to look into. So what I haven't mentioned yet is that even though I am viewing properties in Derby, I wanted to have a look at Nottingham. So I'm not actually buying in Nottingham yet, but it's an area, a city that I'm really interested in. Why? Because it's similar to Liverpool in that I think that it's really underpriced right now, yet it's still growing impressively. So Liverpool is very similar, Sheffield is very similar, Leeds is quite similar, but out of all of those three, it's Liverpool and Nottingham that I think are the most underpriced, and so there's a lot of value to be had by buying in Nottingham, in my opinion. Here's Nottingham Station on the left, so we're right in the centre of town. Nottingham's very different to like Stoke, for example, or Stockton-on-Tees, where I've been, two cities where I've been in the last 2 months. Both, you know, northern cities, fairly close to Nottingham, but very different in that these are two cities, Stockton-on-Tees and Stoke, are two cities where they used to have like heavy manufacturing industries. Stoke had a big pottery and ceramics industry. Stockton-on-Tees, I don't know the specific trade that the city was famous for, but it was manufacturing based. Those are two cities that have really struggled economically, you know, since their main industries declined. And there's a lot more poverty in those cities as opposed to here in Nottingham. I mean, like right now we're driving through a tram line. You know, the infrastructure of cities like Nottingham, like Liverpool, is being built up, it's being developed, it's being taken forwards, and with that comes a lot of opportunity with regard to property. You've got rising house prices in line with that as the city becomes more connected and more developed. You're not going to see brand new tram lines, you're not going to see a lot of businesses. You just saw Experian on the right, and I drove past the HM Land Registry about 5-10 minutes ago. A lot of head offices, businesses located in a city like Nottingham. Not so much so in places like Stockton-on-Tees and Stoke-on-Trent, and that's why house prices are so cheap, because generally speaking the economy there is struggling and there's not a whole load of opportunities, economically speaking, for people. And that's why you'll see one beds in Stockton-on-Tees and Stoke-on-Trent for, you know, 60 grand, 50 grand, 70 grand, those type of price points. Now the great thing about Nottingham though is that even though there's so much more going on here, property prices are still low, relatively speaking. I think they're cheap right now. You can still get one beds in Nottingham for like 80-90,000 pounds. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here, and that's why I decided to stay here and just have a look at what's going on in this city. So guys, what do you think of this property? What do you think of the city? What do you think of Nottingham? That was a summary of my trip to Derby. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Would you bid on this property? What would you do with it? Let me know. I'm always interested to get your thoughts and your ideas. Let me know if you like these types of videos. I'll make more because I'm going to be doing lots more viewings. Check out the links in the description below to free resources. Check out my property dashboard. Check out the Invest Engine sign up, the landlord sign up, and I'll see you guys on the next video.